burger. Oh, that's nice.
Alright, so there's 2 ways to cut these brains. But before we do any cutting, we're going to need some scissors. And then
Just
we're
touch
going to
it.
need
Just
a
get over it.
scalpel, or I've got some razor blades if you're more a razor blade person. But everyone needs to get
Tools of our choice, basically, or
bring back scissors, small scissors, and either a scalpel blade or ask me for a razor blade.
it's kind of like Play-Doh.
No. Oh. Wrong attachment.
Did mine have
Yours is. Oh, okay. Yeah, like that. Alright, so these are the 2 that are going to be good to show the first part. So, use the scissors to kind of lift up. This is the Duramater.
Let me see what he's doing.
And burying the Duramater is the pituitary. So there's your pituitary. Before we just pull this off, we want to see where the stalk is from the pituitary to the hypothalamus. So that's what I was peeking at. This one has a nice stalk. Go ahead and cut that little thing there. And now you can see the stalk here. Do you have a stalk on yours? I didn't look at yours. Yeah, no, yours is broken. As was yours. She's got one. So once you identify the stalk and see where it's coming from and where it's going to, well, it's going to the pituitary, then you can kind of go, you can cut all the little attachments all the way up and down, and then lastly cut the stalk. So these little attachments that you're cutting are the cranial nerves. Remember we said there were nuclei of cranial nerves in the brainstem, so
She is all fresh.
cutting some cranial nerves.
Good. Just do it.
You can take yours off. You don't have.
Mine's
You don't have as much to cut.
Yeah. JD with my brain.
So remember where the pituitary is, because we're getting rid of that piece.
So this is the pituitary?
And then lastly, cut the stalk.
Oh, it's hard. No, it's not. Yeah, this part is hard. Oh. So
Alright,
these
so
thick things holding, those are also cranial nerves right here.
So we're going to start on page 53. I'm going to go through all the structures one by one, 53 and 54. But before we got started, we wanted to look at the stalk before you start handling it. Chances are the stalk is going to break. And we got to get rid of the Duramater because it's blocking some of the things we need to see anyway. So
Pituitary.
now back to frontal lobe. So you can flip your brain over and start looking at the various lobes. So obviously the frontal, most anterior part. Parietal would be in the middle, and then occipital at the back. There's no real good dividing lines for these. They don't really have a good,
oh wait, mine is too.
central sulcus, although
If you feels harder? No.
And then temporal lobe is a little bit tougher to identify, so turn on its side and look for the big, real smooth lobe without a whole lot of this guy here.
Is it the under right here?
On the side, it's the great big. This is temporal.
It's these right here.
Where at?
So temporal.
Oh,
So
okay.
the temporal doesn't have as many gyri, just one big tube. So if it's a fold, it's a gyrus. If it's a little valley, it's a sulcus. Of course, the valleys are all filled in with, actually filled in with blood. That's worked itself down. Well, actually, you're looking at pia mater on the surface of the brain. So, and you saw that where the dura mater was. So between, and actually arachnoid layers in here too. So between this and the pia mater on the surface, we actually had our subarachnoid space. All right, longitudinal fissure is the one between the two hemispheres. So you can use probe or scissors or even your scalpel to just kind of open up the brain so you can kind of see. Don't go too deep, just go deep enough to be able to peel it apart. You want to be able to look down and see the corpus callosum without cutting it. So you can just kind of cut through the enough pia mater to get down and see the.
Keep going.
And don't pull too hard because it goes through. So what separates it now is corpus callosum. And then if you, on the opposite side, you can look into your transverse fissure. So between the occipital lobes and the cerebellum, that's all transverse fissure. Before we make our cut, turn the brain away from you. Let the cerebellum drop down. Look into the transverse fissure. So actually hold it up. Let the cerebellum drop down. Look into the transverse fissure. And what four structures do you see? So as you're looking down into the transverse fissure, you're seeing the four colliculi of the corpora quadrigemina. Yep, so the superior are the great big ones. The ones below are the inferior. Pull it down a little more. There you go. Superior and then inferior.
Real quick, is that middle thing the
And that's the corpus callosum down there. Alright, so you guys see the corpus callosum? I mean, not corpus. The
So-
corpora quadrigemina.
like thing in the middle?
This is a really nice view that you really can't get on a plastic model.
Okay.
So now, let's see, we get transverse fissure. It's hard to see. Well, lateral sulcus, technically we can see because it's not something you're going to ask on a sheep brain. But lateral sulcus would be this. Central sulcus, maybe this, but some of you guys are going to have a central sulcus. So we're not worried so much about the lateral and central sulci on the sheep brain because we know them very well on the plastic brain. There's central sulcus and lateral sulcus. Now you can actually, when you sit the brain down like this,
Central sulcus.
take your scalpel and continue cutting all the way down through, all the way down. You might want to even start at the other end because you want to go all the way to the spinal cord. You want to try to cut down through the middle as evenly as you can, all the way to the, all the way through, right through the cerebellum, right through the midbrain, right through the spinal cord. And then you end up with two halves.
It's better if you go straight, like it's straight lines, so it doesn't like all the way to the cerebellum.
Next thing to find, the pineal body, we have to look
Oh, that's so cool.
inside.
That is too cool.
Now Monday,
See the tree
everyone's
blade?
pineal body looked different,
No.
but it's always in the same spot. Gemini. Female body is dysfunctional.
See, so we can tell it's super stupid because they have very little of this stuff and a whole lot of this.
Very little, what was it, gray matter?
So no, it's this. What is this thing?
Corpus, or no?